to an inside cabin tour of Fred Olsen Bolette. This is cabin 2507 and it is located all the way forward on deck 2. When you walk into the cabin, this is what it looks like. And if I spin around, we're going to start with the back of the door. So this is on the back of your door. This is on the back of every ship door in every cabin that is sailing around the world. And it just tells you what to do in the event of an emergency. So it reminds you what the emergency alarm sounds like. It tells you your primary and secondary escape route. It tells you how to put on your life jacket, and it tells you which lifeboat station is yours. So you'll notice on there, mine says that I am lifeboat station 1 and it is located on deck 3. If I carry on round, there is a lot of wardrobes that are quite bulky. We're going to talk about those in a bit. Right now, we're going to talk about the main body of the cabin. So I carry on walking. This is our third bed. We are using this as a 3 berth. It is capable of being a 4 berth. So the third berth is a sofa bed, which your cabin steward makes up every day. On Fred Olsen, they leave this as a bed. This is never remade into a sofa at any point during the week. It will be a bed all day, every day during the week, or if you're on longer than a week. On this side, there is the aircon unit, so you can either have it toasty warm or freezing cold. I will say it's not the coldest aircon unit I've ever had. I find that Fred Olsen ships tend to run quite warm. If we carry on round, there is a nautical print above the third bed. I found that on Fred Olsen ships, the prints in the cabin are always nautical, which makes sense considering they're proud of their maritime history, and it is a family-run business that has been going for generations. If I carry on, there is this little side table. This little side table is normally here, like in front of the third bed. We find it quite annoying in that spot. We tend to walk into it, so we've just tucked it there. Above the little table, there is 2 pegs to hang your coats, jumpers, hats on. These are much better on Bolette than they are on Borealis. On Borealis, me and my mum were actually too short to reach the peg. On Bolette, we can actually reach them, so I'm glad whoever designed it has lowered them down a bit. If I carry on around, this is what our 2 single beds look like. You can have these pushed together into a double if that's what you would like. And obviously there is 2 bedside tables. On the top of this bedside table, there is a telephone for in case you need to talk to anybody, like guest services, the medical centre, maybe you want to order some room service. And this little piece of cardboard here will tell you all the numbers for everybody you need on the other end of the phone. So it will tell you what number to dial for guest services, what number to dial for the medical centre, what number to dial for room service, whatever your little heart desires. Above the beds, there is this curtain. Now, this curtain is a bold design choice. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It is designed to make it look like you are in an outside cabin, as if that curtain is obscuring the windows. We're to the inside, so if you move the curtain, all that's behind it is the cabin wall. If we carry on round, there is a TV, which that flickering is awful, so let's just pan down a bit. The TV is interactive. It does have movies on demand, TV channels. You can look at what's for room service. You can look at your bar bill. Then there is a large vanity with a full chair in front of it, which I'm grateful for because some ships just give you a stool. There is 3 drawers to the side of it, and then above it, there is this large mirror. Now this mirror, I'm very glad of the size because it makes your inside cabin look much bigger. Also, it means that you can get ready at the same time as somebody else without getting in each other's way. The only thing about this particular mirror is because we're to the inside, the lighting isn't very good, and if you did your makeup in front of this mirror, you would probably emerge looking rather orange. Now, if we carry on round, this big bulky bank of wardrobes we are going to talk about next, because there is a lot of storage on a Fred Olsen inside cabin, but it's not necessarily practical storage. First issue with the storage in this cabin is now glaringly obvious because I've opened all of the wardrobe doors. So the wardrobe doors open so far that there is hardly any gap between the wardrobe door and the wall, or the wardrobe door and the bathroom door. Now obviously this wouldn't be an issue if you were in this cabin alone, but if there is 2, 3, 4 of you in this cabin, moving around and getting ready at the same time is nigh on impossible, because you either can't fit through that gap, or if you've gone in the bathroom, you can't open the bathroom door without clattering it off the wardrobe doors. First wardrobe is miscellaneous. It's not really designed to hang your clothes in. So there is a life jacket at the top. Then there is the tea service. So kettle, mugs, milk, tea bags, coffee. There is a hanging rail above the tea service, but unless you want your clothes hanging on the kettle, you're not going to use it. There is then a shelf with beach towels. Beach towels on Fred Olsen are replaced by your cabin steward. You pop them on the bathroom floor with your bath towels and your cabin steward will bring you new ones. And in the bottom there is a fridge. The fridge is nice and empty. It's not being used as a minibar, so you can pop anything you like in there. Ours is currently holding a variety of snacks. Even with the first door closed, you're still not going to get past this second set. So this second set is the only double wardrobe in the cabin. However, it doesn't have double hanging space. So let's show you. I'll just tuck this in so I can get past it. In this side, there is a life jacket, and then there is shelf space, and then there is your safe. Your safe is free to use. In the bottom there is hanging space, but it's only long enough for like t-shirts, shirts, trousers if you folded them over. You're not going to get dresses, play suits, jumpsuits in this gap. On the other side there is a life jacket space, and then this half of the wardrobe is your only long hanging space. So if there is multiple people in the cabin, getting everybody's long hanging clothes into half a wardrobe is quite a task, especially if you really like dresses. In the bottom we've just popped all of our shoes. Now the next thing I have issue with is this is the only full length mirror in the cabin. It's quite impractical in the sense of it's in the side of the wardrobe, so we have to leave this wardrobe door open to use it. Anybody who's in your cabin is going to be in the background of every like picture, video. It's also not lit very well because the only spotlight in the ceiling is behind the door, so the door stops you from getting good light. Obviously that's not a universal problem. Some people will not care about that, but it is definitely a vlogger problem. Every outfit shot I have filmed in this spot in the past week, the lighting has been dire. I've resorted to cracking the bathroom door open to let the bathroom light shine in. Even if I close this particular door and we keep going, these are the only wardrobe doors right on the end that you could feasibly walk past. Now, right on the end is entirely shelf space. So there is a life jacket up there, and then there is shelves all the way down. No more hanging space. We are now going to talk about the smallest space in any cruise ship cabin, and that is the bathroom. Now the first thing we need to know about the bathroom on Bolette is that the door opens all the way until it is flush with your cabin wall. It is held there by a magnet, and that means it's nice and easy to get past the bathroom door. On the back of the bathroom door there is pegs for you to hang up your towel or clothes, and then this is what the bathroom looks like. If you stand in the bathroom doorway, it is probably one of the biggest bathrooms we have ever had at sea, and that includes some of the really modern ships we've sailed on. So if I stand in the doorway, just to make my life a bit easier before we go in, here's your toilet. As discussed previously, I'm not going to tell you how the toilet works. We all know how a toilet works. However, this one hasn't worked all week and did overflow the other day, and there was toilet water all over the bathroom floor. If I pan up, there is hand towels, flannels and bath towels. You don't have to bring towels when you cruise. They're provided by the cruise line and washed as often as you would like. If you want to reuse your towel, you hang it up. If you would like a clean one from your room steward, you pop it on the bathroom floor. If I step up into this gap, this is our mirror space. And actually, this mirror on the end here, this is a cabinet. So you can pop your toiletries on the shelves. We haven't done that, ours are just everywhere. But if you want them to be nice and tidy, you can tuck them away in here. We've got a big vanity and a sink. And then on the side there is some hand wash provided, because clean hands is an important part of ship life. If we spin around, this is our shower. It does have the dreaded clingy shower curtain, but it's quite big in terms of floor space, and it is really powerful. It's also really easy to turn on, which is helpful if you're like me and you cannot see very well. So this top dial, you're just going to turn towards the back wall and it'll come on. You're provided with some body wash. The only flaw with this shower is that this shelf is really small. You can't fit much on it. So we've just got all the shampoo, etc. lined up along the floor. There is 2 handles for if you're in rough seas and you need to hold on while you're in the shower. And there is the traditional washing line in the top of the shower in case you want to dry swimming trunks, etc. I am going to go sit down and we'll do a full debrief of how I have found this particular cabin, and I'll give you some advice on whether you should stay in it or not. Full debrief of cabin 2507. I am an inside girly. If you ask me what kind of cabin I prefer, I am going to say an inside every single time, because 1, it is absolutely pitch black, and 2, it is absolutely silent. I find balconies to be really noisy, because obviously your neighbours might go on the balcony and they might be having a chat, they might be scraping their chair around, and I find an inside to be dark and silent, which is my preferred way of sleeping. However, having said that, this cabin is far from silent. Because we are all the way to the front of the ship, we are one of the last cabins in the corridor. You can hear every single technical thing that the captain does. He uses his bow thrusters. You are going to hear them and you are going to feel them. The whole cabin is going to vibrate. He drops his anchor. You are going to hear it and you are going to feel it. The whole cabin is going to vibrate. So to stay in this particular cabin, like this cabin number, you have to be a morning person. You have to not mind being woken up when your captain is either parking at the dock or dropping anchor so that you can tender. The other thing you have to be okay with if you're staying in this particular number cabin is that you have to be okay with the motion of the ocean. So we have had some rough seas this week as we have sailed across the Celtic Sea and across the English Channel, and because we are all the way to the forward of the ship, every time we have hit a patch of rough sea, we hear the wave slap against the front of the ship. The front of the ship crests up the wave and then nosedives back down the other side. So this is not a cabin for if you get seasick, but if you're like me and you're absolutely fine and the motion doesn't bother you, then you will be absolutely fine in this cabin. Obviously every cabin has its pros and its cons, but I just wanted to have those because I figure if you're researching cabins on YouTube, that means you're invested in getting the right cabin for you.